G'day everybody. Alibar Jones here, leader and founder of the EarthGuard Astral Projection Crew. This is the answers to your questions. Today, last week I put up a post that says if you have any questions you'd like to ask us, I'd make a video and answer them. So here we go. This is what it looks like. Now, I do have to tell you that I'm running a course that on astral projection that starts on the 2nd of July. If you're curious about what's in it, have a look at alibarjones.com and click on the astral projection course. You'll see the most comprehensive class list that you're likely to find anywhere. And the people who graduate that class turn out to be in the top 5% of wizards anyway. So it's very much worth your time if you're interested in doing this work. On completion, you'll be invited to fly with us in the EarthGuard and make a difference in humanity's future. But without further ado, here are your answers.
I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Yeah, just put the intro in here. Yeah, I'll send that out to you. Okay. One of the first questions we got was from Zeos2. What is the ultimate goal of the EarthGuard here on Earth, like main mission, core goals? Well, it's pretty simple. We would like Earth to be self-determining. We'd like humanity to make its own decisions. We don't need any demons or any aliens to do it for us. We're 100% capable of managing our own planet and developing our own technology. We don't need any of them because with them comes strings attached, like a noose. So we're not here to be a subject species for another star-faring species. We're actually here to create Earth independence. But if you're really curious about what our primary target is, then I'll link to one of the videos here. It's called The Absolute Solution to All of the Craziness on Earth. And it kind of, in a nutshell, explains what we're about. I hope that answers your questions, Eos. And hello to Matthew 365959. I feel like I have a good idea of what you guys are all about. I'm very curious to hear about the frequency fence around Earth that supposedly recycles our souls and mind wipes us. The Gnostic says this is ruled by archons, and remote viewers have quite a nasty description of this. And it's probably the meat and potatoes or the background for the movie of Jupiter Ascending. And yeah, it's pretty right. The goal of the frequency fence is to make sure that souls cannot travel freely, so that when someone dies, the soul's stuck here forever, and then they go through a reincarnation loop. And you're not supposed to get out of the reincarnation loop. What else do I want to say here? Yes, it's ruled by archons. The souls that live there in channel describe a tribe of souls who are carnivorous and busy eating other souls, so they don't belong there. Now, believe it or not, the level of awareness that I'm sharing with you is because our team has done many missions out there and solved that problem. In fact, the frequency fence is no longer designed to keep souls in. We've rebuilt it from we built a shield. We took it down and replaced it with a shielding system specifically designed to keep evil from entering the Earth. But you know, like we haven't spoken too much about it publicly because it's so controversial. There's a lot of people who are quite invested in the karmic cycle. So, you know, I'm not going to trash it any more than that. I hope that answers your question, Matthew. Next question comes from Imani. And Imani is a big fan of the channel. He was one of my first 300 subscribers, I think. And we've been chatting through the comment section for a couple of years now. So I'm very happy to answer your questions. What is the state of the split? Coming but unknown as to when. it's not really, we can't really give you a date, but we think that when evil is pushed off the earth, it's going to take all of those people who are loyal to it with it. It's like, so as we disengage from evil or demon kind, or you know, I speak a lot about this sort of stuff. As we opt out of their offers, that means that they'll have no further contact with Earth, and at some point they'll have to disappear and do their own thing, and that causes the split. And the way that it's described, or the rapture, is that all of the bad people go with them to a different planet of their own, a duplicate Earth. So it's coming. We're working towards it. Astrologers say that it'll happen in 2027. That's where all the big stuff happens. So we'll see. We'll see. How do we know without a doubt who's going to make it or not? Well, I described the interaction between good and evil as computer game quests, right? You can, if you want to chase evil, you can chase fame and fortune and wealth and lust and status and power and those sorts of things, right? And pursuing them above all else will lead to being taken away by the dark side. If you want to play the other game, this is about community and service and building relationships, good family, helping people. It's sort of giving to the community, so the community gives back to you. That is, if your behavior follows that pattern, you're far more likely to go on the right side of the split. Now, on top of that, our team has developed, well, I developed a handful of meditations that nudge you a long way this way so that you're more likely to be on the right side of the split. The first one of them is the baptism by Gaia. The other ones, there's some really challenging concepts in there, but I'm working with an animator to animate the videos where I describe them. It's just slow. I'm sorry, folks, but it's coming soon. And all of that is in the EarthGuard membership site, earthguard.world. See you there. And Cheryl Pierce, I've got a question that I would really like to answer. And it's, who are the soulless, the NPCs? Are they human souls who have had more or less soul disappear through the karmic recycling, etc.? Or are they planted to be an interference to humans? And if the split is an estimated 15% aligned to Earth, is this the estimated human souls? I'm not sure I completely understand the question, but I don't believe in NPCs. And NPCs being defined as people without a soul, because I'm just not into it. Have you ever seen a kid who's born without a soul? Like, have you ever seen a kid who's not excited and curious and playful and into everything and wants to know? Like, you lose this. You lose this. The idea of an NPC is people who are the opposite of that, who are incurious, who are drones, who are just working towards the same thing every day and not really aware of what's going on around them in the world. And what I think that is a result, no child is born without that curiosity. But that curiosity dies the more you invest in the system. The more you invest in government, the more you believe in, the more faith you put into our rulers, the more you believe the world's. There's another good answer to this question. Give me a second. And so let me answer your question about NPCs, Cheryl Pierce. Now, NPCs are, as I understand it, defined as people who are living without souls. They're walking around just being a filler here on Earth. And, Anna, there's some sort of, spiritual machination that brought this situation about. I'm not behind that one. I don't believe it really. I think everybody's born with a soul, and you see the soul as curiosity, playfulness, inventiveness, joy, and spontaneity. And the NPCs are people without any of those qualities. But all of the kids who have these qualities grow into NPCs, right? And so how do you avoid growing into an NPC? And the answer was, don't believe the news, don't believe the government, don't buy into movements which are apparently grassroots. Because if you follow all of the regular trends, like, this is going to suck the life out of you. And this is what NPCs look like. I mean, I've got more to say on the topic, but that's the nuts and bolts of it. And I hope that answers your question, Cheryl. Hi, Diane J. And you're asking about what is Gaia and Sol's take on chemtrailing. Massive thank you to you and the team. Well, chemtrailing is something, we've done a mission on this, and we were able to reprogram cell towers to emit something that repels that. But there's only so many in the system that we can tackle at once. Our team has only able to flip a limited number of these at once. So we did a lot for Australia because it was feasible for us. But Europe, the US, the Middle East, I don't think we'll be able to get that to happen. But I don't want to fight chemtrailing. I think our resources are better devoted fighting the system as a whole that produced chemtrailing, because fighting chemtrailing on its own, it's and I get asked about this all the time. I don't think that's the best use of the resources of our team. Sorry, Diane. We're letting that one through to the goalie pretty much. So I have another question from Amaranth Red. And this is an interesting one. A few years back, when Andrew Bartas was still very active on YouTube, viewers were asking about different alien groups and were they helping and what's going on there, because it's a big issue. Now, Andrew Bartas, I actually got a call from him, and we were trading notes on this, because it seems as though he was doing the same sort of work that our team's doing, but 10 years ahead, and he was doing it solo. So he gave me a call one day, and we traded notes, and it was great. But he got warned off of continuing this work, which I thought was rather interesting. But here's the deal. Like, if the aliens were here to help us, they already fucking would have. It's really that simple. Is a controlled opposition load of public relations. The channels, all of the Pleiadians that we meet are telling us wonderful stories how they're here to help us, and then they sit on their hands. And there's no excuse for that. It's unforgivable. And so, but why do they do that? Because they're involved in the farming of humanity. They're involved in the harvest. That's it. And there is no alien group that does not fit this description. We are not aware of alien groups who are not here to harvest us. This is an occupied territory, and those species are different units of the same army, in my opinion. And when I spoke to Andrew Bartas, he said the same sort of thing. Aliens are not here to help us. Please, I cannot communicate that clearly enough. And here's another question from Amaranth Red. And I love this question. In the movies, demons are viewed as terrifying, ugly, and dangerous. And she thinks it's amazing that we casually destroy them. How are you able to handle it? Aren't they frighteningly grotesque? And yes, they're made ugly. But I want you to understand that satanic worship and Hollywood are hand in hand. Like, you're not going to get to the top of Hollywood unless you're a Satan worshiper. End of story. So I want you to imagine how Hollywood would portray their masters as grand, as powerful, as frightening, as scary, as rough and mean and ruthless. But the fact of the matter is, they're pussies. You talk to them, and it's like talking to immature children. And they can't do confrontation. They do manipulation really well, but they can't do confrontation. Like, they don't. Human beings are fundamentally stronger than all of demonkind. End of story. To Justin Jones. More power to the Jonesies. Yeah, and his statement is, the only way you get out of here is to fulfill your contract as it is, right? And he's talking about karma, or I'm assuming he's talking about karma. And I want you to get this idea clear. Like, you're not supposed to complete your karma ever. It's not, you're supposed to keep recycling here, coming to Earth and producing loosh for the occupiers of this planet. Karma is not supposed to be resolved. End of story. It's supposed to keep dragging on forever. If they wanted us to resolve our karma, then they wouldn't give us the mind wipe on reincarnation. We'd be allowed to know exactly what the task is. That way we could perform it. But as it stands, it's your fault if you didn't perform a task that nobody explained to you. Obviously, you're a terrible human being. So it's just nonsense, mate. It's just nonsense. Don't get overly invested in fulfilling the contract. Get invested in living your life, dude. Make it as cool as you can. So I've got Nick's 7546. I've got a question is, can you stop the UN WEF and WHO, the World Health Organization, and all the stuff they do? And that's one of the objectives of our team. You see, you're looking at the collaborators with demonkind. These are all the Satan worshippers who want to subjugate humanity rather than watch it flourish. And so our objective is to eliminate all of demonkind, and through that, those idiots will have no allies and no power. They will have no black magic to implement their dastardly evil scheme. So we want to stop them, but not directly. Can you explain to me more on how the astral works and how you all learn to meet? So I'll explain a little bit about our mission, how our missions work. So usually we get on a Zoom call. There'll be 10, 20 of us on there, and we'll just have a chat about what's going on in the magical world and what our objectives might be, what happened to everybody, what they did on the weekend, that sort of thing. And from there, we'll just select the mission. We'll select an objective. And that's when the fun really begins, because we turn off the video so that we have a continuous stream of audio that's uninterrupted. And from there, the first place we usually go is to Gaia's Ready Room, which is a dimension that Gaia set up for us so that we can put on our armor and prepare our weapons, and all of the energies that we need for the mission we download from the end of the mission. It's a nice little time distortion thing. But then we fly out and we'll see the problem, we'll look at the puzzle, and we'll all just be chatting about it on Zoom while our minds are astral projecting into, unique locations or wild locations around the world, around the megasphere, I suppose. I don't know. And then when we come back, we also spend a minute in silence just to have really clear minds when we go out there. And when we come back, we come back to Gaia's Ready Room and give ourselves an energetic wash. So any garbage that we picked up along the way, we can clean it out and go back about our day, cleansed, fresh, refreshed, and renewed. But you hear all about the main parts of our astral projection adventures, so it's all cool. I hope that answers your question. Suzeka, this is a good question. It's about the split, and you do a meditation which makes us loyal to Gaia and stay, and we're selected to be part of the group that definitely goes with Gaia. But there are other people in the same circle saying we need to get out of here, and they're going to be leaving through the sun. So we're staying here, we're going through the sun and leaving here. And personally, I think this is a paradise planet. There's no reason to leave here. And there's even less of a reason to abandon the field to the bad guys. If you are one of the ones who can perform the ascension tasks required to exit Earth and leave through the sun, why the hell aren't you helping us keep this planet? If you're going to run away from a fight against evil, well, clearly you're a pussy. But what's worse is that you're abandoning so many people here to be harvested and eaten. And I just can't, personally, I can't let my morality allow that to happen. So I'm going to put up a fight. Now, Suzeka, I hope that you tell your friends this, and that if they're actually capable of the task that they've described, then they're very, very welcome in our crew, and they won't be alone. They'll be looked after. I hope that answers your question. And this is from Alinoba. if it's accepted that we live in a matrix, yeah, sure, that is a duality of good versus bad. And we're fighting the demons and slaves to break our consciousness of what we think is reality. No. There are two issues here, right? One is that good and evil duality is on the earth. And if you get rid of evil, this place is going to be awesome. And the golden age begins on the day that we do that. Like, hear me out here. Now, there is a lot to say that we are in a hologram or a matrix. And we don't need to leave that. We just need to clean up the one we're in. Like, and magic is only feasible through the interaction of a superior reality that impacts us, as above, so below. But running away from this one is not required at this point. Like, what I want you to come to the conclusion that every morning you're going to wake up and you're still going to be in a body. And that if you are lost in that hoi polloi, in that astral realm, like, without any anchor, without anything to come back to, like, it's not as pretty as people think. But, you know, I think getting out of the hologram is an unnecessary issue at this point. It's a false question. We're far better off cleaning up the reality we're in so that it's not desperate and our consciousnesses are not infected as we try to exit, but we can slowly and methodically unravel the mystery of what reality really is. That's how I answer your question. Maybe your team, and thank you, Klamars. Maybe your team could combine forces with Stephen D. Kelly. I'd love that. Stephen D. Kelly is one of us, and he was an outside presidential candidate in the last election. He also revealed another, what do you call it, honeypot sort of location like Epstein Island, but underneath New York City. Dude's a bit of a legend. I'd love to have a chat with him. If you can get us together, I would definitely do that. Yeah, let's see what happens. And Scientology, like, I'm sad to hear that word on my channel, but this question's a really good one, right? And I've been reading his comments for probably a year, always excellent and concise. And he says this: there are no shortage of potential human allies. Kimberly Gogan, David Wilcock, Corey Good, or the French and Tibetan astral projection teams, etc., etc. But I'm told that the collaboration with these people will never happen due to ego issues, etc., etc., etc. And yeah, that's what I'm finding. Like, you know, we did make contact with a Finnish astral projection group, but you know, they didn't. The leader came and had a flight with our team, said it was great, and I said, now I'm going to go fly with your team, and he refused. He wouldn't let me in. And I thought, you know, it's really weird, but he's protecting his clients. But in that scenario, like, it's a bit of a loss. In that scenario, we can't be friends, you know, if there's not mutual trust. You know, everybody's talked to me about Kimberly Gogan. I haven't heard a peep from her. Or if you know her personally, please open a three-way email so I can talk to her. But, you know, she knows who I am, and she can reach out to me at any time. David Wilcock and Corey Good, like, Corey Good stood up in court and said that nobody else is allowed to talk about the blue avian species of aliens. Why? Because it's his intellectual property, i.e. he invented it. That dude's not trustworthy. I do agree that, you know, teams from Damanhur and Findhorn we tried to reach out to, but they don't seem to have a functioning astral projection team. You know, the Buddhists could be doing the work we're doing. There's all sorts of people who might, but they're just not for various reasons. So I'm open, and I'll talk to anyone, but I'm waiting for people to reach out to me. You know, it's I don't know. I feel like we should be getting more support, or we could be supporting smaller teams. I don't know. I'm pretty open about this because, like, in my mind, if you're doing this sort of work, then you're not a selfish person. You know, somebody asked me who's funding our team, and I said we're all volunteers. We do this just because it needs to get done. You know, somebody has to clean the toilet of Earth. Somebody has to clean the astral toilet of Earth for things to change, and you know, nobody else put their hand up, so it's us. Anyway, yeah, I'd love to hear from other astral projectors, and even more so from other astral projection teams. You know, I even reached out to a girl in England, and she goes, "No, demons are icky. I don't want to." And so this is the kind of thing we're facing. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Coach Shay Pitching, can you do AI generated visual of the things you see? Would love to see what you see, by the way. You've taught me so much. Love to you and your team. Yeah, I'm really glad to help you out there. I avoid AI for reasons that you'll understand quite quickly, I imagine. That being said, one of our flight team is a very good illustrator, and she does produce some of the scenes. Or reproduce some of the scenes there on the EarthGuard website. So, you know, earthguard.world, go check it out. Okay, from Mr. Momo. Is it true that the moon is a spaceship, is in front of the real moon, and that on the sun simulator, the server to maintain the false matrix is located? Oh, look, and the true sun gate, the real sun is blocked. I can say this for sure. The moon is a spaceship. It was parked here. I don't think the matrix is projected from the sun. I don't know about duplicate suns or duplicate moons, but yeah, I think the moon's a spaceship. Leo Hardis, what do you know from your experience about Yahweh? I've met a being who could have been Yahweh, and my recommendation is to stay the hell away from him. Yahweh, Jesus, Christianity, they've had, you know, a couple of thousand years to solve all of the problems. And if they were capable of solving the problems that the earth has right now, they would have solved them already. The answers that we're looking for are not in Christianity, because, you know, the book, as it turns out, is not enough. But, you know, a lot of people get upset when you say that. Okay. And for Brooke, SPPS, Alibar, you guys are amazing. Thank you very much. Cute question. What is really happening with Elon versus Trump? Yeah, Voice said Trump is a leader of the Black Sun Cabal. This is effect. How the Earth is going to stop these two from negative frequency plans they had? Are still going towards a fake alien invasion. Right now, Elon and Trump are fighting because the USA is bankrupt, and Elon is the chief liquidator for the Rothschild family. And so the DOGE thing, or the Department of Government Efficiency, is there to cut the fat off of the business so that it can get back in the black. And they've recently had a big fight because Trump has a real, wants to spend some money on the country. Are they going to go towards fake alien invasion? They're going to play any trick they can to stay in power and to subjugate humanity, anything at all. And I think they're buying time while the 6G infrastructure is built, because that stuff is the devil. So, questions from Art Video Brittany. If demons, Satan, etc. are a reality, and we're talking about the rapture or biblical themes, where does Jesus fit in? In the biblical rapture, I don't think the rapture's in the Bible. He's supposed to meet with good souls which are saved in the cloud, blah, 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 blah. Again, Jesus came to fame through casting out demons. That was what he was known for. That's why people listened to him, because of his skills in that. He was first and foremost an exorcist. He also gave the power to all of his disciples to cast out demons. That's who he was. That was his primary goal. You'll hear him clashing with Satan. Satan, get behind me, several times, particularly in his 40 days and nights in the desert. Now, Jesus, being the great leader that he is, he carved a path that said, fight the fucking demons, and nobody followed it. Why our modern world doesn't even know if they're real or not. Like, it's a bit pathetic, you followers of Jesus. Get your act together. And this one's from Anita Says, hi, Alibar, please listen to Michael Sala's latest show, The Galactic Federations of Worlds, Disclosure, Betrayal, You're Right, We Have No Allies. Are you able to look into the treaties, contracts between the Earth military and industrial complex and the Galactic Federation of World newly agreed upon? Thanks. Well, what we're looking at, I do know of an instance where somebody was under attack from the Earth military and they appealed to the Pleiadian military and the attack was called off. What this tells me is that we are ruled, this is an occupied planet, and that the aliens actually have dominance over Earth militaries. And so what the Earth's in the unfortunate position where when these guys showed up, they were unable to say no to the aliens. They were unable to deny them a contract. You know, I don't think you'd live out the day when you say definitely not, we won't have any Pleiadians here. And so they're caught trying to make a useful alliance or try to make the alliance more and more benevolent when fundamentally it's an extraction alliance and that they are collaborators with the enemy. Though, again, it's not that simple. It's not that straightforward. We'll be looking at those contracts in due course, I'm sure. And this last one's from Phil M. How you doing, brother? How's your wonderful mustache? Yep. 2 questions. What are your thoughts on Robert Monroe and the Gateway tapes? Are they helpful to learn how to astral project, in your opinion? And firstly, Robert Monroe, what a legend. Like, he was barking up the right tree. You know, the Monroe Institute is probably the premier training facility in the US, except that it now works for the dark side. See, Robert Monroe, he came up with the word loosh. He invented that word, which is pivotal to our work. That concept's pivotal to our work. But since then, it's been taken over by a guy called McMonigal, and he is an SSP. He works for the 3-letter organizations. And now the Monroe Institute is used to recruit psychics for those 3-letter organizations. So, you know, I think also every time we've clashed, and they pick fights with us, every time we've clashed with the Monroe Institute, they lost. So their astral combat skills are not up to scratch at all. I can't speak clearly about the rest of what they do.
I think that we've all had enough. Keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.